are here with two people who just officially shut down the carpet.
Yeah, it's hot out there.
Carisha, Young Miami is here. Puff, aka Love, aka Diddy, we are in the building.
Trying to be a woman and work through things, and he wasn't ready. So then I was like, it. And I left.
Hey folks, it seems like the heat on Diddy from the industry is relentless, and the gossip just keeps pouring in. Almost every day there's a fresh scoop or some new revelation making its way into the limelight. Now, if you're scratching your head wondering what I'm on about, buckle up because it involves Young Miami potentially dropping a bombshell about Diddy. Word on the street is that Young Miami is gearing up to spill the tea on Diddy, and the rumors are swirling with anticipation. Supposedly, she's got some eyebrow-raising videos featuring Diddy and Clive Davis at a hush-hush shindig. You know how Diddy is, always throwing those legendary parties of his. Despite everything that's gone down, one would expect him to maybe take a step back and reflect, right? Well, not according to the grapevine. The word is he's still hitting up those parties, and this time, he's got Clive Davis in tow. Now, the juicy details that allegedly went down at these gatherings are being described as nothing short of disgusting. Don't worry, because we've got you covered with all the nitty-gritty details. So let's dive into this unfolding saga and uncover what's really happening behind the scenes. Now, you might be sitting there scratching your head and wondering, why in the world is Young Miami the one spilling the tea on Diddy? It's a valid question, especially considering their history. I mean, they used to be a thing, and she was all over him. But here's the plot twist: they broke up. It's wild because no one really saw that coming. Young Miami used to go on about never leaving Diddy, but turns out he didn't see it the same way. He straight up told her they were just messing around. And to add a dash of weirdness, he had this habit of calling her shoddy wop, whatever that means.
We date. We dating. We go have dates. We friends.
Miami wasn't bothered by the odd nickname and kept insisting that Diddy was hers. She even spilled the beans in a Pop Sugar interview, talking about how she was planning to marry the guy. Fast forward a bit, things got even weirder when Diddy dropped the bomb about having a baby with another woman. And as if that wasn't enough, he couldn't seem to stay out of trouble, getting caught up with different women after the baby revelation. Online, people had a field day trolling Young Miami, giving her a hard time about the whole situation. Now the plot thickens. Rumor has it that Young Miami didn't ditch Diddy just because of a baby mama situation. There's some talk swirling around about rumors involving Diddy and his alleged involvement with men. Yeah, it's getting messy. And it doesn't stop there. Ever since the allegations against Diddy started surfacing, everyone in his crew, including Young Miami, is getting caught up in the mess. Word on the street is that she might be facing cancellation right alongside Diddy. Honestly, it's not much of a shocker, given the significant influence he wields in the industry, boosting Miami's status and all. So here's the deal. She's supposedly airing out all of Diddy's secrets because she's been hit with the blacklist herself. It's a tangled web of drama, my friends. Now buckle up as we dive into the juicy details of the Diddy and Clive Davis saga. So here's the thing. Clive Davis throws this annual pre-Grammy bash, and let me tell you, there have always been rumors floating around about what really goes down at these shindigs. Some shady stuff that us regular folks aren't privy to. Now, despite facing some serious heat with essay claims from a trio of women, he's apparently still on the guest list for Clive Davis's legendary pre-Grammy bash. Yup, the insider scoop says, Puffy is like the party's VIP, always invited, no questions asked. Now, here's where it gets interesting. An eagle-eyed source noticed that Diddy wasn't exactly stealing the spotlight in the party's digital invitation this time around. Last year, the invite practically screamed Diddy with 3 glam shots, but this year it barely gave him a cameo behind Jay-Z and Beyonce from the 2020 shindig where he got honored. Cue the gossip mill. People started whispering that maybe he got the boot or, was scrubbed from the invite. But that is pretty wild, considering how tight these two have been. We got a confirmation when a rep for Clive Davis swooped in to clear the air, saying, "Hold your horses, folks. Puffy wasn't scrubbed." Each year, the photos included in the pre-Grammy Gala invitation are updated. Different artists, guests, and performers are changed from year to year. New faces, new vibes. Now, for those of you not familiar, let's do a quick scoop on Diddy and Clive Davis's relationship. We're all aware of Diddy's heavyweight status in the music biz, founding the iconic Bad Boy Records and managing big names like the late Notorious Big and R&B sensation Usher. The burning question: how did Diddy build such an impressive empire? Well, the rumor mill has been buzzing for years about Clive Davis and Diddy being more than just industry colleagues, and it looks like the truth is finally out. Sources spill the tea, claiming the two have been an item for a solid 5 years, and they weren't exactly discreet about it. From epic parties to hush-hush meetups, it seems these two have been living their best lives. But wait, Diddy's claiming he's been a victim too. Apparently an intimate slave to Clive Davis, if you catch my drift. Now, if you really think about it, it's kinda weird. Diddy was just an intern at Uptown Records in 1990, got the boot in 1993, and suddenly he's starting Bad Boy Records in cahoots with Arista Records, owned by none other than Clive Davis, the big shot behind TLC, Whitney Houston, and Brandy. Now, Bad Boy Records became a massive hit, but back in the day, Diddy was pretty much a rookie in the game. So here's the mystery. How did he convince Clive to bankroll his record label? It's not like Clive was super confident about Bad Boy Records making it big. He admitted it himself. In an interview, he spilled the beans, saying Diddy basically pressured him, claiming that hip-hop was going to take over the top 40. Sounds unlikely, right? But Diddy played him some Craig Mack and Notorious Big tracks when they were still under the radar, and Clive saw the music landscape shifting. He said, "Sean Combs convinced me that top 40 was going to embrace hip-hop. It seemed so unlikely then, but when he played me Craig Mack's Flava in Your Ear and Notorious Big material when he was totally unknown, this 21, 22-year-old guy was seeing how music was changing." The thing is, Bad Boy Records was Diddy's dream. Not exactly Clive's cup of tea, but guess what? Clive still threw in the cash. Now, with all the new info spilling out, it seems we're finally getting some answers. Jaguar Wright, who's been keeping an eye on Diddy for a bit, dropped a bombshell. She's claiming Diddy, allegedly, was R-worded and S-A'd by his mentor, Andre Harrell, the Uptown Records starter. And hold on to your hat for this one, she's saying Andre himself was allegedly S-A'd by Clive Davis. She said, "My focus right now is Sean Combs. He is a SEXTFK, and he is using music and entertainment to SEXTFK." She continued saying, "From what I've heard and from sources I would consider reliable, it really doesn't matter if it's boys or girls. I don't think SEX has anything to do with gender at this point for Sean. I honestly think that he's just an extreme narcissist who loves power. He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most probably because he was victimized by his mentor who loved to control people, and his mentor was Andre Harrell, who was mentored by Clive Davis." So here's a wild tidbit from Jaguar. She spilled, "I'm telling you, I don't know what happened between Andre and Clive. What I do know is that Andre got passed over. Like, how do you go from being the president of Uptown and losing your entire company to your intern? Like, Puff started out as an intern."
Okay. Tell us why. Tell us why.
Because he's a trafficker. And he's using music and entertainment to traffic. Who loves power. He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor.
This is a head scratcher because the numbers just ain't adding up. Diddy's always been giving props to Clive, even in 2019 after snagging the Grammy Icon Award. He was like, "Clive Davis and Arista Records gave me a chance when I was starting Bad Boy Records. He was one of the first industry executive to really believe in me. I'm forever grateful for him." But here's the kicker. If the latest buzz is on point, Clive didn't fund Bad Boy and sideline Andre just because he believed in Diddy's talent. Nope. It might have been because there was some secret business happening between Clive and Diddy. Also, Clive Davis, the big shot in the music scene, has had some SA allegations tossed his way. And get this, he's come out as bi too. After a couple of marriages and divorces, Clive went on a journey of self-discovery, digging into his attraction to men. In a pretty brave move, he spilled the beans about not being strictly hetero, even though he thought he was for the first 50 years of his life. After this revelation, Clive decided to dive into a relationship with a guy, figuring it was the next chapter in his book at the time. Fast forward to 1990, he got into a monogamous thing with a mystery male doctor, and that ride ended in 2004. Clive's been pretty upfront about it, saying, "I never felt shame. No, I felt puzzled. The subject of BI really needs much more discussion. It's a status that does exist." Legend has it that Clive's now in a solid relationship with another dude, going to events and jet-setting together, but the name is on the down low. Nevertheless, Diddy seems to be the go-to guy for Clive at events, and it's not just a casual run-in. Now, hanging out at the same parties might not be concrete proof, but when you factor in that both Clive and Diddy are open constantly spotted together, it's kind of screaming connection, right? Their tight bond has been a thing for a while, and during this time, Clive's been in a committed relationship with a guy, while Diddy's faced some whispers about being in the closet. Considering all this, the idea that there might be a romantic spark between these two isn't far-fetched. Clive's been pretty open about his SEX and relationships, but he's not shutting down these rumors, adding some weight to them. And Diddy's keeping mum too, but his actions have raised a few eyebrows. Now check this out. Keefe D, a gangster who's no stranger to the celebrity scene, once caught Diddy doing some sus stuff with another dude at a party. And guess what? Diddy's ex-bodyguard, General Deal, spills the beans on multiple occasions, hinting at Diddy's preferences. One time, Gene walks in on Diddy and some rapper strolling out of a room, rocking nothing but towels. Clearly, Diddy wasn't too concerned about Gene catching on.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird shit going on.
Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt.
Even after his ex-wife Kim Porter passed away, the former bodyguard spilled that when they were hitched, Diddy was playing the field with both guys and gals. Diddy's also been eyeing some male artists. Rumor has it he made a move on 50 Cent, who shut it down real quick. There's this story about Diddy inviting 50 Cent for a shopping spree, but some folks think there might have been more on the agenda than just retail therapy. 50 Cent shared the memory. He recounted the moment at Chris Lighty's wedding, expressing his surprise and humor. He said something to me a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping, he said. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding. No, that's something a guy says to a girl.
Wedding, he told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Also, 50 Cent has been questioning Diddy's orientation for a long time now. Now, 50 hasn't really brought any concrete evidence to the table, but the public chatter kicked off around March 4th, 2014. That's when 50 dropped an Instagram bomb, posting a pic stitch featuring Diddy, Rick Ross, and ex-record exec Steve Stout. In the pics, there's Steve and Diddy hugging in pink shirts, and another one where Diddy and Ross look like they're about to lock lips due to some awkward angles. 50 captioned it with a sly, "I ain't saying nothing, but something ain't right. Elmao hash some Saudio." The post disappeared pretty quickly, but the speculation stuck around. So 3 years down the line, 50 Cent kept the rumors alive by sharing a pic of Diddy hanging out with openly gay filmmaker Lee Daniels, hinting once again at Diddy's supposed attraction to men. Then, the next year, 50 Cent posted a pic of himself surrounded by stuffed animals, jokingly claiming he was recovering from pettiness and playfully suggesting that everyone would turn gay under Diddy's leadership. In the caption, the rapper wrote, "Sorry, I can't help you guys anymore. Soon you'll all be gay and happy. You're all now under the leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Hash Denoff Thieves Jan 19. It looks like 50 Cent was keeping the banter going with a mix of humor and playful insinuations. Usher's got some tales too from his time at Diddy's crib. According to Usher, he got an eye full of adult stuff, substances, and some other sketchy stuff when he was just 13. In fact, there's this slip-up where Diddy accidentally spilled the beans about waking up to Usher in a video.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Another person is actor and choreographer Columbus Short, who recently shared a video claiming Diddy tried to get him to come to his hotel room at 3 a.m. In a video, he straight up said, Diddy tried to pull him into a late-night hotel room situation at 3 a.m. talk about a bold move. Columbus ain't keeping quiet about it either. He's like, I'm snitching in the kitchen. Columbus shared the story, saying he got a random call from Diddy in the middle of the night when he was still married. Diddy was all, why weren't you at the BET Awards? Columbus, being a married man and all, was like, I'm in bed with my wife, man. Diddy, unfazed, dropped the bomb that he was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, just chilling solo.
I'm snitching in the kitchen. Diddy, gotta tell on him. He tried it on me, so I know it's true.
But here's a bombshell. An unnamed guy has come forward, accusing Diddy of some serious allegations dating back to 1989. The guy claims he was SA'd by Diddy and a friend after an off-campus party at Howard University. The guy says, I know this is random, but my name is blank, and I was SA'd by Diddy and a friend of his on April 15th, 1989 in DC. It has taken a lot of strength for me to get to this stage of self-assurance, but I now know I have nothing to be ashamed of. I attended Howard University the same time he was there, and I was taken advantage of after an off-campus party. I will be the first to admit I was inebriated. Diddy noticed I was intoxicated and offered to give me a ride back to my dorm. I trusted him at the time because we were acquainted with one another because we had economics class together. This man went on to spill some explicit details about how Diddy allegedly lured him into his apartment where another guy named Lorenzo was waiting. According to the accuser, he was drugged and both of them took turns doing some really inappropriate stuff. Now remember, all of this is just the guy's side of the story. story, but he's not taking it lightly. He's prepping to sue Diddy, getting all his documents in order, and he's dead set on making Diddy pay for what he says went down that night. It's a serious situation, and he's adamant that it changed him forever. Now, here's a wild theory floating around. Some folks think Diddy learned how to deal with problematic artists from Clive Davis. There's this talk that Clive might have taken out some artists causing him headaches, like Whitney Houston. We all know Whitney passed away due to substances, but some online theorists beg to differ. They believe Clive orchestrated Whitney's exit because she was getting older and being swapped out for a younger artist like Brandy. The twist? Some people think Clive had someone go to Whitney's hotel room and take her out, making it look like a substance-related incident. This theory got a bit of backup from an investigator who claimed Whitney was taken out by high-end dealers she owed big bucks to. According to him, there were defensive wounds on Whitney, making it unlikely she took herself out. Here's the weird part. When the news broke about Whitney's passing, they told Clive Davis, who was hosting a pre-Grammy party at the same hotel. Clive got the alert before the party, and instead of canceling, he went ahead and threw a massive bash. Some folks say it looked like he was almost celebrating Whitney being taken out. Now, here's where things get even weirder. Just 2 days before Whitney's passing, she crashes an interview with Brandy and Clive Davis. She hands Brandy a secret note, and nobody knows what was written on it. Rumor has it was a warning to Brandy about Clive, but the contents remain a mystery. And Whitney isn't the only artist linked to Clive Davis who passed under mysterious circumstances. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, too, left us in a puzzling way while under Clive's label. Some folks are convinced that whatever happened to Lisa is tied back to Clive. Now shift the spotlight to Diddy, and it's like deja vu. Artists and people around him tend to pass away mysteriously, just like we saw with Biggie, Kim Porter, and the whole alleged Tupac situation. It's like a strange pattern or something, don't you think? Let's check out some examples. Jaguar Wright dropped some bombshell thoughts about Biggie's death, hinting it might not have been a random tragedy, but a strategic move by Diddy and Bad Boy Records. According to her, Puffy's been cashing in on Biggie's name longer than the dude was even alive. Imagine that. Biggie hadn't even hit 25, and it's been over 25 years since he passed, with Puffy still raking it in. She says, Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Effing Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived. It supported all of Bad Boy, his catalog. Clearly, a Biggie small verse is very valuable.
For when he died, it's been over 25 years. Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived.
Wright's got some questions about The Commission, an album Biggie was working on before he passed. She vents The Commission. What happened to that album? It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have come out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then, The Commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy, then starting his own company. Also, 50 Cent backed Jaguar Wright when he threw his 2 cents in, telling Diddy to cut it out and let Biggie rest in peace. When Jay Electronica dropped a track called Ghost of Christopher Wallace, 50 wasn't having it. He straight up called out Diddy, saying, "This is just getting disrespectful. The song doesn't even feel like Biggie, except for that Puffy background, the dancing and ad-libs that almost ruin a good song. It's like 50's saying, enough's enough, Diddy." Now, here's where it gets kinda creepy. Wright throws in an eerie twist by mentioning the spooky number of deaths tied to Diddy, especially back in the Uptown Records days. She said, "I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, Al B. Sure, Heavy D, Puffy, and Kim was the longest employee. She was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead, Heavy D is dead, Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Ain't that interesting?" She continued, saying, "You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors in late of Uptown Records? They were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book just before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B was working on a documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma." She wonders, saying, "Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest mother F, because it seems that everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the Get's beginning are gone, just him remaining."
Pharrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died.
Whoa, talk about a roller coaster of darkness with Diddy and Clive Davis, but hey, that's the industry for you. Now, the big question is whether Diddy is hitting up the Grammys this year or not. But guess what? 50 Cent just can't help himself. He's out here throwing shade at Diddy like it's nobody's business. This time he's taking a jab at the bad boy boss for deciding to skip the 2024 Grammy Awards. Yep, even though he's nominated and all, a rep for Puff Daddy confirmed he won't be showing up at the ceremony next month. Posting a screenshot on Instagram of Hip Hop DX's report into the matter, 50 commented, "Wait, Puff, I think you should go. They not gonna give you no trophy, LMAO, get the FVSEC out of here." Now, Diddy's up for the Best Progressive R&B Album Award for the Love album, Off the Grid, competing against some heavy hitters. But even if he snags the trophy, he won't be there to collect it in person. Also, it seems Young Miami made a smart move by breaking things off with Diddy. Bet she's thinking she dodged a major bullet right now. I'm curious though, what's your take on all this drama? Who else do you think should be spilling Diddy's secrets like Young Miami, but is keeping quiet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next video.